Fine, thank you very much. Darren Johnson.
Thank you. Yes, key parts of your climate change strategy were very much dependent on government funding through the LDA, and if the government's pulled the plug on that funding, it has huge implications for your climate change work.
Well, Darren, I agree completely with that, but I don't think that the government has pulled the plug on this. And if you look at David Cameron's speech to the CBI, where he extolled the importance of green technology as an engine for generating new green-collar jobs, I think he understands the importance of the Renew and the Refit programmes, and I'm confident that we'll be able to carry on and deliver those.
He might understand the importance of them, but whether he's going to give any money for them is a completely different question, because as far as things are at the moment, and what we understand from the LDA is that other than legally binding contracts, the government will be providing no additional resources for the funding of the London Development Agency work.
Well, as I say, I don't think that. I think the second part of your suggestion is not quite right, in that there are detailed discussions going on now.
There's detailed discussions, but so far that's been the government's position, hasn't it?
If you just let me complete the point, there are detailed discussions going on now about what funding may be available, and I'm confident that we will be able to deliver not just the environmental programmes, but also the vital programmes of delivering on London's Olympic commitments, and, of course, on promoting London in all its aspects, not just in the run-up to the Olympics, but beyond.
We had Sir Simon Milton here last week to discuss the LDA. Do you agree with him that when he says the government has national targets for carbon reduction which will not be met unless there is an effective programme for homes refitting?
I think that our home improvement programme, the Refit programme, the Renew programme are amongst the most adventurous in the country. They deserve to be widely imitated, and I'm sure the government will not want to see them fall by the wayside. And to answer your question directly, I do think that they play a vital part in our ambition to reduce London's CO2 output by 60% on 1990 levels by 2025.
Absolutely, I agree. So we're agreed on that. Do you agree then that you'll completely fail to meet your target of insulating homes and your CO2 reduction targets without those programmes being properly funded?
Well, as I say, I'm confident that we will be able to continue with those programmes. I think the government does understand the importance of them. But, clearly, Darren, I'm grateful to you for, pursuing this and for raising up the political agenda. It is vital that the government gets the message that these programmes are important, and they deliver exactly what David Cameron said in his speech to the CBI he would like to deliver. Okay,
that's lobbying of the government, and you obviously need to continue doing that. What about lobbying of the boroughs? Can you update me on your lobbying of the boroughs, who so far brought forward only a quarter of the funding that's needed since I last raised this with you in September for the home retrofitting programme,
needed for Renew and Refit.
Yeah.
Well, as I say, I think there is a huge advantage to be gained for London and for London consumers. I mean, we're only going to sell
what
this
lobbying have you
programme
done with the borough leaders?
If people understand that the benefits from retrofitting their homes actually accrue to them as well. Insofar as lobbying of the boroughs goes, I'm determined that we get the funding package that we need, and of course we will work with the boroughs to encourage them to play their part. But if you ask me, have I raised with the boroughs recently, asked them to contribute more to home retrofitting as part of the Renew and Refit programmes? I'm acutely conscious of the pressures the boroughs are under, and I'm determined to get funding for this from government, but I don't intend to extort more from the boroughs now than they can pay.
No, but this is about their initial commitment before the plug was pulled on the LDA funding. you agreed in September that you would be lobbying the boroughs to ensure that they put in their share of the funding for the home retrofitting insulation programme.
Well,
you promised to do that when I questioned you in September. Have you not done that now?
Well, Darren, if the boroughs are due to put in their fair share of funding for the home retrofitting programme, then I'm sure they will be mindful of their obligations.
But you said in September that you agreed with me that they needed to do this and that you would lobby them directly. You agreed to do that in September. Why have you changed your mind?
Well, Darren, I think you're...
Or have you just forgotten?
I think you're slightly putting words in my mouth. I'm sure that conversations have been taking place, active conversations have been taking place with the boroughs about the greater contribution they can make to home retrofitting by my office, and I'm sure that insofar as they are obliged to contribute more to the programme, I'm sure they're mindful of their obligations.
Well, will you undertake to lobby them as you did in September? When I questioned you about this in September, you agreed it was a good idea and that you would lobby the borough leaders directly. Will you undertake to do what you promised to do in September?
Well, as far as I remember, the borough leaders are generally in favour of these programmes, and I'm sure they'll be supportive. And they will be mindful of whatever obligations they may have under Renew and Refit.
Okay.